This is day 1013 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we are doing um, Siman uh, Tuf Rate Sadik Vav, Sif Yud Beis, and Tuf Rate Sadik Zion, Sif Beis. Tonight, I'm doing this the night of Purim after the Megillah because tomorrow is the day of day 1013. This Bashir is the Siyum of Orach in the Arukh HaShulchan. And this is obviously a great simcha. And because we're finishing Hilchos Purim, it's so appropriate. And Hashgacha Pratis, that happens on Purim itself. And something which is very, very moving. And I'd like to thank my shutaf, Micha Berger, for instituting this project and seeing it through and continuing to disseminate and support it. I'd like to thank Reb Chaim Lando, who took over for the days in Orakh when I was Lo Alechem, sitting Shiva for my father, Reina Kaparas Mishkavo, and it was great chesed on his part. And thus, we come to the conclusion of Orakh, and today's day 1013, and of course, since today is 1013, we have to see what the Gematria 1013 is in order to understand how it's connected to our Siyum today, and the Gematria, 1000 Gematria is Ish Sarvayev Haman Hara Hazeh. This Ish Sarvayev Haman Hara Hazeh in Gematria is 1013. We just learned that a few moments ago. Obviously, our limud of Orakh HaShulchan should be a tikkun that in Shamayim, in Oretz, that we should be able to overcome all Anoshim, Tzorim, Ba'oivim, all the Hamans who oppose us in each every generation. And there's also the gematria of a phrase in Yechezkel Lamed Tes Chav Tes V'lo Astir Od Panai Mehem. And of course, this is also very, very appropriate for Purim because Purim is Esther, and Anochi Aster Astir is the remez to Esther Minat Torah, and the Nesa Purim is V'lo Astir Od Panai Mehem. So we should be zoicha that through our learning of Orach Chaim and our finishing the Hilchos Purim tonight, we should be zoichet to Giluyim and the end of the Hester Panim, which is this Golus Hachel Hazeh. And finally, in Gematria 1013 is Yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemo. And obviously, the Orach Chaim in which we travel is the Orchos Chaim, the pathways of life are those which are manche us, which direct us maglei tzedek in the paths of righteousness, leman shemo, for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, in B'schus, our having learned Orach HaShulchan Orach Chaim, we should be zoiche to continue to go in that Orach Chaim as we learn further, as we go through life, as Am Yisrael continues in its journey through this world. Yanchenu b'maglei tzedek, not just Yancheni, Yanchenu b'maglei tzedek leman shemo, and it should be a tremendous chus for all of Am Yisrael. And with that, we come to the last few sifim in Orach Chaim. Tafreit Tzadik Vav Yud Beis. Mutali so Isha B'Purim. You're allowed to get married on Purim. Ben B'Dav, Ben B'Tes Vav, whether it's the 14th or the 15th. Koshken Shmutal Asos Pidyon Ben. So that's make a Pidyon Ben on Purim. Tafgav the Yontav Asur, even though it's also to get married on Yontav. Yafin Mikod Mikod Samach B'Chagecha, because we learned that you should rejoice in your holiday V'lo B'Ishtachon and your wife. I'll put him like a crow. By Purim, no such pasuk applies. Kamakom, nevertheless, the time they marry Simcha, since there is the issue of adulterating one Simcha, another Simcha, Gam Purim Asur. So they evidently became accepted that it's also to make a chasna in Purim. Therefore, Yesh Asos Chuppah Bil Gimel. The way around that is to make the Chuppah on the 13th. V'chein B'Tes Vav, of course, when it's outside Yerushalayim, Bad Him Mutter. In brackets, he says, "V'chein Kosav Mordechai Leviu Teres Ken She'en Lisah B'Purim Shouldn't do Nisuim on Purim." The Mishnah Berurah says, and Magen Avraham says to make the chuppah on Yud Gimel, the Surah at night. The Mishnah Tshuva says, in our countries, the minhag has extended to be matir, as is the opinion of Shulchan Aruch. Chaim Moshe says, it's better to make the chuppah at the end of Yudalad, and Sudas Purim you should make before the chasna. Okay, so if it's obviously if the Shas Chak, there are ways to get around the Achronim's kfeda. Back to Arukh. Um, Evidently, they use shatnez masks for some reason. But shall ishli, I guess, because you know, perhaps korkarpas utchelas. There was shatnez there. About shall ishli isha and man dressing up to a woman. Achshav lo no kain. That's not the custom. Even though it says that you're mazik someone else on Purim, you're a potter. No, not now. That's all I'm saying. Rabbi Arukh simcha v'enu madregazu. Now we're not on that level, on any of these levels, so we can do the things l'shem shemayim, and therefore we do not engage in them, and therefore the Torah does not apply to us. The bracket says, apparently back then they had the minhag, but the minhag is not to dress up men as women, etc. But this is not the minhag in our day and age any longer. So HaShulchan is quite machmir on that. So I point out something which I mentioned yesterday, which I saw tonight was a mistake. Actually, the minhag is to not say Tiskabel in the second Kaddish. We do say Tiskabel in the first Kaddish after Shemona Esrei, not Tiskabel in the second Kaddish after the Megillah. Tough rate Tzadik Zayin, the final simon in Orakh. Din Adar Rishon. Even though Adar Rishon comes first, nevertheless, Din Adar Rishon here comes last. Achron Chaviv. I was born in Adar Aleph. Adar Rishon Karahavi Kishvat. Adar Rishon is like Shvat. Being Karba Arba Parshos, if you read the 4 Parshos in Adar, Lav Klumu, it's nothing. It's not Adar Rishon, it's nothing. Tzarech Lav Zoli Krosam Misheni, you have to read them in the second Adar. The Aflam Mishasar Regamar, the B'diyev, in Karba Rishon Yotzu, Ayin Shom, even according to the opinion holds the B'diyev, you Yotze, if you read in the first Adar, Zeu B'sholo Yodu Shetisai B'Rashona, that's when they did not know that the year would be come a leap year. That's the base Hamikdash exists now. Now that we make the reckoning based on the calendar, we know the leap year when leap years are going to occur. Previously, loyalty not yoytze. Indian has spade with tinus. However, in terms of doing hesped and tinus, also without as well, shar rishon, those are forbidden on yudal as well, out of rishon as well. Some say they can hesped and tinus mutorim. Some say that on out of rishon you can even do hesped and tinus and yudal and as well. This is Barba going to Sham Sha'asr, that with the Gemara answers, Zel Gankin Shlo Yedu Me'ibor. That's only if they don't know that it's going to be a leap year. But the primary halacha is that we don't do Hespedim and Tanesim in Adar Rishon and Yudal and Tezvav. Mr. Burish Haratzin says if you said Al Anesim and on Yudal Adar Alf, we don't make you go back. Because I didn't realize if he said it any other day, we make you go back. I'm not sure that's the case, but he said. But the reason why he says it specifically here is because the poskim say that really Purim should have been Adar Rishon, but they only made it Adar Sheni, so to be Mismach Gula, so to be juxtaposed to Pesach. So therefore, it's made Amora even on Yudalad and Tezvav Adar Rishon. Base v'lachein masurim behesped with tainis Purim Katan. Therefore, there's no hesped tainis in Purim Katan. Finally, Yudalad Tezvav Adar Rishon. Don't say Yom Hatzech. I will share Dvarim Enogim B'hem Mutar B'Melacha. But other things do not apply to Purim Katan, and it's Mutar Melacha then. Some say Tzorich Laharbos B'Mishteh B'Simcha B'Yudal Shabbat Rishon. Some say you should increase your Mishnah and Simcha even on Purim Katan. Mishnah Berurah says, but not only on Yudalad, not Tezvav, even for cities which are surrounded with walls. Not sure why. It's not the minute. The Kain Mashali B'Gemar Sham, they ain't Shemchi B'Rishon, because Gemara seems to indicate quite clearly that there's no obligation in the first either. Because Rabbeinu Ramah, the Ramah says, Mikom Makom, Yer B'Ktzatz B'Sudah K'dei Yitzei Tzedei Machmirim. You should have a little bit of an extra something on Purim Katan in order to be Yotzei, the opinion of those who are Machmir. The Tov Lev Mishnah Tamid. Now, I always read this when I was younger incorrectly. I used to read it. The Tov Lev Mishnah Tamid. It's good to always have a heart full of Mishnah, but that's not what it means. Tov Lev, it means rather Tov Lev Mishnah Tamid. Somebody who has a good heart, he's constantly in a state of Mishnah. Akal Shona. And Klomar. And it's finished the Arukh HaShulchan is the explanation. The Ikra Avodas Hashem Hu B'Simcha. The primary avodah Hashem is to do so b'simcha, and perhaps you can even say the primary avodah Hashem is simcha in our avodah. As we well know, that's the idea of Torah Lishma, according to Rabbi Avraham Minahar and the Eglei Tal, to learn Torah, and Baharev Nozi Beis Orakh to learn it in order to achieve the simcha of Dveikus and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. L'chein k'shekavanoso l'shem mitzvah. Therefore, if you're going to increase your mishnah v'simcha in either in Purim Katan on Adar Rishon for the l'shem mitzvah who mishte b'simcha shel mitzvah. Then it can become any day. Tamid. Mishnah and simcha shel mitzvah. We should be zeicher to that. Hashem is samched bebinyan beis hamikdash v'yas hagol tzedek. B'amein, the Kodesh Baruch Hu should give us the simcha of the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash and the coming of Mashiach, Amen, which will be the ultimate simcha. HaShulchan Arukh HaShulchan Orakh Ba'Drachlan. Daitlach Orakh Orakh Ba'Drachlan. L'tishminach Arukh HaShulchan Orakh L'tishminan Lo Ba'Hamadim Lo Madasi. HaShulchan Arukh HaShulchan Orakh Ba'Drachlan. Daitlach Arukh HaShulchan Orakh Ba'Drachlan. Mishnach Arukh HaShulchan Orakh L'tishminan Lo Ba'Hamadim Lo Madasi. HaShulchan Arukh HaShulchan Orakh Ba'Drachlan. Daitlach Arukh HaShulchan Orakh Ba'Drachlan. Mishnach Arukh HaShulchan Chaim Lo Ba'Hamadim Lo Madasi. Here's some Menachem no Hena, but saying should say to us, I'm going to say, but I'm say more Lama Ba. Chanina ba Papa, Ryan Papa, Nahar Papa, Chay ba Papa, Mora ba Papa, Mora ba Papa, Rafa Papa, Rakish ba Papa, Suchra ba Papa, Adam Papa, Daru ba Papa. It's not clear why you say all these bar papas when you make a Siyum on Gemara. There's many different explanations given, and they all have some difficulty. So there's no reason not to say when you make a Siyum on HaShulchan or Chaim either. However, no when it's the brace so it's called befinu. If you some called basis so me cholano nachnu but says ainu. Say I'm called basis so cholano de shmecham lom de so secha. My bet many mis so secha lom he li bitanu chukecha man lo ivosh. Lom leshkach budech ban chisani bruchaton lam deni chukecha. Amen. Sela vaed. But even nachnu nachnu no hen but saying just something came yoshe bes amesh lom yoshe konos. Shon mashkim he mashkim. Mashkim te vetave mashkim voim beteli. Amen him kam sochar. Amen kam sochar. I don't see Hemotzim. I don't see Chemaba. They must see the Shachas. Shema told him to redeem the Shachas. And she dummy Mirma lo yechzu meim vani eftach bach. You don't know for Necha Adonai Eloheinu Kishem Zartonu L'Sayim Orakh HaShulchan Orakh Chaim Kain Tazrein Laschem Estechlos L'Sfar Chaim L'Sayimam Liam Olamed Lishmor Velasus Chaim Skol Beis Hamut L'Secha B'Hava Who's called Hatanoim Ba'Amoraim Uposkim Tamidei Chachamim Yamoli Uzari Lanu Zarenu Shlemusha Tormi Pinu Pi Zarenu V'Zer Zarenu Adolam Tiskayem Banu Tislacha Tancha Uskha B'Shach B'Chat Yishmar Lecha V'Chisotza Hitisi Checha Kivir V'Mecha V'Sifcha Shnos Chaim Arkamim B'Mina B'Smol Osher Chabod Anoyel Samaitain Anoy V'Recha Samo V'Shalom. Chaim Kanievsky says, and when you make a Siyum, if you want to make a Siyum count and be able to use it during the 9 days and other times, then you have to make a simcha every time you make a Siyum. Certainly on such a momentous event, which has taken us 1,013 days, it's appropriate to make a simcha, especially on Purim. As an afochu, I'm using a Hanukkah cup. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen. Mazel tov. We should be zoicha to continue together to learn Arukh HaShulchan, complete Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, go on to start and finish many Svarim together.